Are going to be talking about plant-based whole food protein for midlife women. No one is escaping the subject area of protein because it has saturated the global zeitgeist, I believe. And and so everyone is in a frenzy trying to get more protein, or they're starting to think that way. And some people don't have a preference for animal-based protein, and yet you still do need a baseline. And we're going to go over why that is. So today's focus is on plant-based. It Protein supports your hormones. It helps with vitality. It absolutely does help with fat loss and the super important muscle maker. So we are going to be diving into it, all aspects of that. Why is it not moving? Oops. Okay. So why exactly does protein matter more after 40? So as women enter their 40s and beyond, the body does go through quite a few physiological changes, and protein becomes more critical. And that is unfortunately, up until recently, has not been addressed. And in fact, usually it slides into the background, and then a lot of potential disease pathways get created. Muscle loss gets accelerated due to sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle loss. And then life gets more challenging in a lot of ways. And then, of course, hormonal shifts during perimenopause and menopause reduce the body's muscle building efficiency, creating what scientists call anabolic resistance. So now you've got two different things going on. So now your muscles are at a bigger challenge than before. And so when you get a concerted baseline amount of protein beyond the RDA levels, you are putting yourself into a better position to resist, well, you're just getting old syndrome that I think most people still hear when they go to the doctor. So we want to make your muscles more responsive. And when you are in anabolic resistance, this makes it harder to maintain and build muscle tissue even with adequate nutrition. So increasing your protein intake becomes essential for multiple reasons. It supports metabolic function. And again, metabolic flexibility is the name of the game as we get older, helping maintain healthy metabolism that naturally slows with age. Protein is crucial for bone health. Most people don't think those two together, but it's absolutely true. It helps to reduce fracture risk and maintain bone density. It enhances strength and physical function. So we want to be autonomous for as long as possible, meaning no walkers, no assisted living, none of that. And then it supports your daily activities and independence. I mean, that is absolutely the name of the game. Maybe we don't think like that now because we're in our 40s, 50s, early 60s, or 30s even, and we're like, what? I can't imagine being that old. But it does happen. It is happening, and we want to make the right decisions now so that in our 80s we look back to our younger selves and we are like, thank God I did that. It was hard, but I did it. So additionally, adequate protein supports faster recovery from exercise and physical stress, helping you stay active and resilient as you age. And protein is the building block for so many aspects of life. We're going to be going through that. And one thing it does is it gives you the glow, which one of my clients just commented on. The case for 100 grams of protein. To me, that is a baseline, 100 grams. There are two different worlds of thinking about your needs for protein. In the fitness industry, the optimal amount is 1 gram per ideal body weight. For some women, that seems like an exorbitant amount of protein. So I have taken to the way of like kind of benchmarking people up, but we want to get you to a baseline of 100. If you can't go above 100 to 120, 130, 140, I'm not going to actually sweat it anymore, but we can't go below 100. Now, if you're just starting off, you got to build up to that, and that's where I will work with you. But 100 is as a baseline is above the RDA standards, and it offers the possibility for you to have extra amino acids to go into these more optimal functions instead of just survival. Meaning number one, muscle protein synthesis. 100 grams plus of protein offers muscle protein synthesis. So that is basically where you're going to be building more muscle. Okay. We want that. It offsets so many issues. It also helps with your appetite and blood sugar. It helps regulate appetite signals and stabilizes blood sugar levels, reducing cravings and supporting sustained energy throughout the day. As we get older, we become naturally a little more insulin resistant. So when you prioritize protein, you are helping to naturally balance your blood sugar, and that is another disease prevention mechanism. It absolutely helps with hormone production, essential for hormone synthesis, detoxification pathways, and robust immune function, all critical during hormonal transitions. If you are under eating your protein, the protein you're eating has to go into survival areas of life, not optimal levels. So some hormones are truly supportive for optimal, like being stress free and sleeping peacefully through the night. Like you need an extra amount of protein in your system so that those neurotransmitters and those hormones can function well. Okay. And then, of course, body composition. Uh, Surplus of protein in the system helps maintain healthy body composition by preserving lean muscle mass while supporting fat loss goals through increased satiety and metabolic support. When you eat a higher amount of protein and yet you're watching your calories overall, so you're not overeating on calories, your body will naturally lose weight. The first thing it wants to dump is your muscle because muscle is expensive. But if you're eating a high amount of protein, your body can't get to the muscle to metabolize that. So it can only go to the fat reserves. And that's why you start to see inches go down. Protein hormones and menopause. Insulin and cortisol balance. Adequate protein intake helps stabilize insulin levels. This is what I just mentioned in the last slide, preventing blood sugar spikes and crashes. It also supports healthy cortisol patterns, reducing the impact of stress hormones that can accelerate muscle loss and fat storage, particularly around the midsection. When I work with people one on one, that is by far and beyond the most important metric I'm looking at is what is your waist circumference. And when we watch that going down, we know you're moving closer to metabolic flexibility. And the consistent level of protein you're eating every day helps move you in that direction. Countering estrogen decline. As estrogen levels drop during menopause, muscle mass naturally declines. Sufficient protein intake helps counteract this estrogen related muscle loss by providing the amino acids necessary for muscle repair and maintenance. What's not stated in here is that resistance training needs to go hand in hand with it. They are friends. When you do resistance training and we figure out where you're at and we just kind of inch you in and up as time goes on, you are doing the push pulls and you're doing little micro tears on your muscles. And then when you have that abundant amount of amino acid in your bloodstream, it is able to go in, repair the muscle, which is essentially growing more muscle. So that is huge. Thyroid hormone conversion. Protein provides the building blocks necessary for optimal thyroid function and the conversion of T4 to the active T3 hormone. This is especially important as thyroid function often slows during menopause, affecting metabolism and energy levels. You don't need to be completely wasted and low energy when you are going through the menopause journey or you're in menopause. We just have to rearrange and get you more organized with your nutrition, and protein is the cornerstone of that. And then neurotransmitter support. Protein is essential for producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood, sleep, and cognitive function, all of which can be disrupted during hormonal transitions. Adequate protein supports mental clarity and emotional well-being. Okay, so here's where we're gonna get into more of the plant protein. Animal protein, it is you know, I'm not going to mince words here. It is the preferred because it's the easiest way to get the essential amino acids in. It's got the high leucine content, which is super important for muscle protein synthesis. It's very bioavailable. It's easily absorbed. There's lots of B vitamins inside of animal protein, and it triggers the whole process very easily. That being said, we can still find other options. Plant protein It is often incomplete, but you just have to either find, if it's based on a plant protein powder, you just have to find a good quality one, or you have to combine a couple foods to make it become complete protein. It just becomes more about planning appropriately. Okay. So plant-based workaround. The good news, you can absolutely thrive on plant-based protein with the right approach. You have to combine the complementary plant sources, increase total protein intake to compensate for lower bioavailability, and use targeted supplementation if needed to reach daily goals. So the people who I coach, if they struggle to get over that 100-gram mark, I supplement with amino acids. So at least you got the amino acids flooding your system so that the plant-based protein you are eating or the protein you're eating is able to be properly utilized. The amino acid factor. So we were just talking about that. Why leucine matters. Not all protein is created equal when it comes to building and maintaining muscle. The amino acid leucine plays a starring role in triggering muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to repair and build muscle tissue. Research shows you need approximately 2 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to effectively trigger muscle protein synthesis. I have a lisp, so it's hard for me to say a lot of S's. Especially important for women over 40 experiencing anabolic resistance. The plant protein challenge. Most plant proteins contain significantly lower leucine compared to animal sources. This means you'll need larger portions of plant-based foods to reach that critical threshold, which is a challenge if you want to lose weight because there's also the calorie in, calorie out component that we have to be aware of. That's why you have to then meal prep, meal plan, and be very strategic about food choices. So the solution is combining different plant foods within meals and throughout the day to achieve a complete amino acid profile. This ensures you're getting all 9 essential amino acids in adequate amounts to support your body's needs. It's not impossible. You just have to be very mindful. Okay, so here's a great array of choices for whole food plant sources. Lentils. This whole conversation started because I made lentils last night. Versatile, fiber rich, and packed with iron. Red, green, and black varieties all deliver substantial protein. So I bought the mixed lentils just so I got them all. Chickpeas are perfect for hummus, curries, and roasted snacks. They are amazing snack. Rich in folate and manganese for energy production. Black beans, can't go a week without eating some black bean in my life, loaded with antioxidants and fiber, excellent in soups, bowls, or as a base for veggie burgers. Edamame, a complete protein with all essential amino acids. Hey, I didn't realize edamame is complete. So that's exciting, you guys. Get more edamame in your life because it's low calorie and then high protein. Great as a snack or added to stir fries and salads. Tempeh is I don't touch tempeh myself. Fermented soy with improved digestibility and probiotic benefits. Firm texture, perfect for grilling or sautéing. I think I need to relearn that attitude of mine. And then tofu. Versatile and mild flavored, absorbs marinades beautifully. Choose firm or extra firm for higher protein content. And it works really well when you're trying to make like a stir fry. Okay, high protein grains and seeds. Beyond legumes, certain grains and seeds pack impressive protein along with healthy fats, fiber, and essential minerals that support hormone health and vitality. Quinoa. This is one of my go-tos over rice. I understand rice is something that people can't let go of. That's okay. But you can even weave a little bit of quinoa on the side. It is really powerful. You just have to be aware of how much, again, for the calorie sake, if you're in a fat loss. Farro, that is an ancient grain with a nutty flavor and a chewy texture, rich in protein. It's great for soups. I put that into my soups. Buckwheat, despite its name, it's gluten-free and rich in magnesium, perfect for pancakes, porridge, or as a rice alternative, or noodles, buckwheat noodles. So that's not stated here, but that's a great one. Hemp seeds, 10 grams per 3 tablespoons, complete protein, packed with omega-3s, which helps with inflammation, and all essential amino acids. Sprinkle on smoothies, salads, or yogurt for an instant protein boost. Chia seeds, that's one of my go-tos. High in fiber and omega-3 fatty acids, forms a gel when soaked, perfect for puddings or as an egg replacer in baking. I just sprinkle it on my fruit bowls when I make fruit bowls. And then pumpkin seeds, 8 grams per quarter cup, rich in zinc and magnesium, supporting immune function and bone health. Delicious, roasted as a snack or added to a trail mix. There's one other thing I was going to share, and I can't remember, but chia seeds are so great. And these are really good financially too. They're not super expensive to get. So this is where you can sneak in fiber and protein together. Because when you eat animal protein, you're not getting any fiber. So there is a very strategic place to have an increase of plant protein. So smart pairings for complete protein. Rice and beans go together. Lentils and quinoa, 2 protein powerhouses that together create a nutrient-dense, complete protein meal with exceptional fiber content. I didn't know that one. I'm learning that one right now. Tofu and tempeh and whole grains. Soy-based proteins are already complete, but pairing with grains adds extra protein, fiber, and sustained energy. Nuts and seeds plus legumes. Combining these creates a satisfying complete protein with healthy fats that support hormone production and satiety. You don't need to combine these foods in the same meal. Eating a variety of plant proteins throughout the day ensures you get all essential amino acids your body needs, so it's like available in your blood, right? It's available to go into action. Practical tips to reach 100 plus grams of plant protein. You anchor each meal with 25 to 35 grams of protein. This is the cornerstone of making sure you get the higher amounts of protein in. You have to plan and you have to think of it as an anchor. And then you combine plant sources strategically. So again, goes back to meal planning, meal prepping, so that you have strategically put it all together so that you know you're being complete with the amino acid profile. Prioritize high protein options. Focus on fermented soy products like tempeh for better digestibility. Choose higher protein legumes like lentils and edamame and incorporate protein-rich seeds like hemp and pumpkin seeds daily. That's why I spread add the chia seeds in. I'm just finding you got to constantly think about where you can add in a little bit more. Supplement wisely when needed. Add plant protein powder, pea hemp soy blends to smoothies, oatmeal, or baked goods. This can help bridge the gap on busy days or when whole food sources fall short of your daily target. So that literally is a supplement that fills the gap. Plan ahead for consistency. I've stated that one 8 times at least. Remember, reaching 100 plus grams of protein daily on a plant-based diet is a skill that improves with practice. One of my favorite sayings is fail forward. So you're gonna fail. What happens when you fail? You look at the situation, you examine it, you take learning lessons from it, and then you proceed forward and you do 1% better each time. You start by tracking your intake for a few days to understand your baseline and then gradually implement these strategies until high protein eating becomes second nature. And it really does become second nature. You just got to keep chipping away practicing. All right, well, that is the end.